I went from scheduled to aired, and I am live. Peace, assalamu alaikum, shalom, shalom, namaste, jambo, ashe, all the greetings of love and light to the darkest minds of the light. I am Napashada. Yes, I had to do this. I make myself a nice iced coffee. I started making my own iced coffees at home because I don't like them out with the regular coffee shop baristas. It is so stressful to tell them not to put sugar in it and to substitute this and that. So I just said, no, I like oat milk or something else. So I just started making them at home and they're better. Peace, Caleb, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. We have to talk. We have to talk. We got to talk. And YouTube, fair use. Because I'm going to be using some stuff off of Facebook. You notice I've been doing my face. This is the second time I did Facebook. I'm going to do a Facebook review because I wasn't on Facebook for a while. And now I started to go look at it a little bit more. And I'm seeing stuff and I'm like, wait a minute, I got to say something about this. So first off, I want to say, please hit the like button. Please share this video. Please comment. We are not an echo chamber on the Rise channel. Reality is simulated existence. If you're not subscribed, please do. We're not an echo chamber, but so I appreciate conflicting or opposing views. That doesn't mean I'm not going to challenge or, talk about it, discuss it, go back and forth, debate it with the person who decides to present their opposing view. But I like to hear the other side. You understand? With that said, I want to make something clear before I get started on this stream. And I really hope that when people come in later and they hear me talking about this, they scroll back and listen to this beginning, because I want to say this. I love everyone. Everyone I love. I have no problem with people who are beautiful and live their lives the way they choose to live their lives, as long as they are extremely careful and conscious about how it affects the lives of other people. And we can get into a conversation about, the effeminization of males, young males, especially Black males. We can get into all that conversation. However, that particular agenda is not a reflection on how I feel. Like the negativity that I feel toward that agenda, that destructive agenda, does not reflect how I feel about people who choose to love, like to have same sex relationships. Yes, I am a Hebrew Israelite. Yes, I believe the Bible. But you know what? If you look at the Bible, if you examine it, y'all don't want me to go there with the Bible. You don't, because you won't like it. But I will. I can challenge a lot about homosexuality in the Bible. Look who's here. Hi there. How are you? Oh, you're gonna stay in the back? Okay, I got you. So, Sonetter, thank you for being here in the back. He's doing some production for me. All right. So this is the point. Nepal's love is all encompassing. She does not discriminate and degrade. That's right. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate you, Caleb. Really, I do. Basically, yeah, if someone wants to be homosexual and be in a loving relationship with the same sex, generally, I'm not talking about on an individual basis. I'm not talking about examining the person's life or reasoning. If I know a person has a same-sex relationship, that is no issue for me. I have met so many beautiful, amazing, loving homosexual people who have treated me right and been good to me in my life. And when I say meet, they're part of my life now, some of them. And some of them are just people I've met, like, in everyday life. You know what I'm saying? It's like male and female, lesbians, and then homosexual males. I don't have any any part in bashing people for their same-sex love. I'm getting this out of the way because I'm about to go in about how males, for whatever reason, some males, not all, but there is a substantial group, substantial percentage, a substantial amount of homosexual males who have this type of misogyny, this underlying resentment and almost hatred for women. We got to talk about it. At least I do. Now, the young man that I'm going to show you, he doesn't I haven't seen him have any type of hatred for women, but I do want you to see him appropriating femininity in women. We don't talk about that. We talk about cultural appropriation. I want to talk about feminine appropriation, because when I see a man who is actually homosexual and he just has feminine qualities, he's effeminate, I have no issue with that. Sometimes it's something that is just that he's naturally learned to do for all his life, like since little boy, like little baby. There are a lot of little babies. You will see like 3-year-old babies, whatever reason I don't want to get into the argument of, okay, they saw that. Yes, it's a learned behavior, but that's irrelevant. It's still something that you can see certain homosexual males, they have that femininity, so to speak. And it's something that's just comes natural for them. They're not doing it as an appropriation. It is something that they, from the beginning of their lives, learned how to do. And believe it or not, there are heterosexual males who also have that some heterosexual males will be having that type of, more effeminate behavior. So the behavior is a learned behavior that's legitimate, and I'm talking about from childhood. So, but I'm going to talk about the toxic appropriation when you see males who they have the right to choose what their sexuality is, but then they will downgrade women, and even you will see the signs where they infringe upon the space of heterosexual males, and they are always interested or overly obsessed with trying to turn out heterosexual males. Now, that also can be said for some, I'm not saying all, some transsexual women. They will, even though I get it, I'm not saying when heterosexual men are attracted, y'all gonna have to stay with me on this, because this is gonna be like a loopy ride. And so don't lose, stay with me, follow the thread. Okay, so what I was gonna say is there are heterosexual men who have seen very beautiful transsexual women, and they don't know that they're transsexual. And these heterosexual men have every right, even though they are attracted to these transsexual women, they have every right to know that these are transsexual women instead of biological women that are biologically born female. Well, Nick, I appreciate your input. For me, just because of the labels and titles and lifestyles, I can't say a trans woman is a man just for me, because even you or anybody else, if you see a trans woman and that person looks just like a biological woman, you wouldn't think, oh man. So this is a protection even for heterosexual men, actually. I get what you're saying. And some of that would be some underlying resentment and frustration because of how a lot of transsexual women try to deceive men just for it's like a self-validation, and it's a very selfish self-validation because they do it just to make themselves feel like, yes, I am a woman. The jury is already in. there are so many transsexual women who, since they transitioned, they look so amazing because of plastic surgery, makeup, hair, and learning and how to mimic and be like women, right? So it's like, when will they stop trying to validate? Okay, I can so-called pass. And I watch some of them, I keep, every now and then I'll watch some of the videos, like I'll be on these channels. I found a channel that I really was saddened by. There's a couple of channels where some of them just sit on the internet and in dating groups, and all they do all day is just try to see if someone will, quote, clock them. And that's the term they say, clock. And so they just do this all day, and they, without any regard. Now, this isn't every trans woman. I want to say this 1,000 times. I'm talking about a specific toxic group within a group of people who have every right to do what they want to do with their lives and their bodies. Okay. So remember, this is not bashing the trans community. This is not bashing trans women. This is about the behavior of not so much, I'm not even going to talk about trans women so much. We know the situations about how they often don't say, look, I'm trans, and it causes a lot of problems. We know that. So I'm going to put that on the side, and I'm going to just talk about homosexual men who are not trans, who are clearly male, who live as male, and I respect that. But what I'm going to show you is this young man who is pretty much sexually harassing heterosexual men, and he finds it to be cute. And I'm not even bashing him, so I'm not going to show him for you to hate him or get angry with him. I want you to see that we have males who, on the surface, they act as if, oh, I love you, girl, and kiss, kiss. But it's like I'm talking to the women, they're your frenemies. They're just trying to appropriate your style, find out everything about you, and they want to replace you. Yes. Because you see the title, it says a PSA, a public service announcement on the PSA. You know what I'm saying? I love everyone. I have no problem with people, but I want you to remember that the Virginia is unrivaled and undefeated. There is nothing like the original. With that said, we need to keep on saying this. We need to say this, ladies and gentlemen, heterosexual and homosexual. We cannot continue to make it like the back door is equivalent to coming through the front entrance. You understand what I'm saying? And so when they call that peace revelation, my brother, peace and love to you, peace and love to everyone, immortal dragon, I see. So when you hear them saying things like, oh, my BUSSY, that is not that is a anus, and that is a rectum. This is an adult conversation, by the way, so please don't be offended. So that is an outdoor, but if you choose it for it to be an entrance, go for it. Hey, people don't always follow the rules, and just as long as you're safe. But with that said, I want to show you this person. First, I want to show you where he is. He's extremely talented, by the way. He's extremely talented. I love to see him skate. I love to see him roller skate. I love to see him dance. He is phenomenal. However, you will notice on his videos that he focuses on heterosexual men to try to act like, yes, they want me. And he even, like I said, he even infringes upon these heterosexual men, and he tries to he exploits them, and nobody's saying anything. Because when you're a male, I advocate for men when it's appropriate. Males get sexually harassed and no one has a problem with it. But if it was reversed, especially if it was reversed and it was like women being harassed by men, especially if it was lesbian women being harassed by men, it would be outrage, and this wouldn't be able to continue. So without further ado, let me show you one of the first clips. I want you to see him focusing on the famous men in the crowd at this fashion show in Milan, Italy. He's focusing on them like, oh, look at them looking at me. They must want me. No, they're just participating. They're not homophobic. He's talented, but he zooms in on them like, ooh, see, I told you these straight men want me. Look at this. Okay, so this is him doing the splits. I'm gonna make sure you can see it. Please don't say I'm muted. Am I muted, y'all? Okay, I'm not. Oh yeah, I can't be muted because you're responding. So this is him. And look, it says, this is what taking risk does for you. Splitting in front of 10's 30th anniversary. And it says fashion show. So he's very excited. He's in fashion week or fashion show in Milan. And he says NLE Choppa and Tyrese and some other famous brother who I assume, I know that Tyrese and this Choppa guy are out there as heterosexual. So I'm assuming the other guy's heterosexual as well because he's focusing on him. So here he is. Look at this. And okay, please, this is over 18. Sorry about the song. I know I'm gonna have to take this down off YouTube. Let me turn this music off, Lord. YouTube, you make me sick. Okay, so I'm gonna let you watch it. Okay, so see the beginning. Now watch. He's gonna focus on, look, he says Alton Mason. So there's one brother clapping because he did a great move. Like, that was hard to do. He's very talented on skates. So he points out, look at Alton Mason clapping for me. Now watch this. Tyrese Beckford is smiling. I mean, what's Tyrese supposed to be doing? Yo, F that, F-A-G-G. You know, like what is he supposed? But see how the guy is like, oh, look at Tyrese Beckford looking at me. Watch. And then he says, NLE Choppa. So like he wants us to see that these heterosexual men are at a show and watching him perform. He's talented. You know, he's very talented. Brothers used to be doing this back in the Soul Train days, though. But like he's making it so like, oh, I'm so beautiful and all these men want me. And I don't appreciate that. So let me get another clip for you. I want you to see where he's harassing these young men at the, thank you very much, Caleb, at the skating rink. Okay, so let me go forward. You're going to have to hear the song because I want you to hear this song where now see, this is the problem. Like, no, this is what made me go ahead and do this. Listen. Okay, see, this is the problem. Y'all heard that, right? There's no PUSSY anywhere near any of this whole presentation. Like, stop it. Stop using that word, which they could say I'm triggered. The damn right I'm triggered, because that is not a you know what. That is a you know what. So tell it like it is. You could be who you want to be, but you don't have we know it's the best. And now I'm getting in my bag as a woman. It is the best. I don't care if you're a homosexual woman or a heterosexual woman. We have that. You don't. Just like men would say, I know some men, you offended, right? If a homosexual woman who leans toward the masculine side is saying that she has a rod, you would be like, that's offensive, girl. You would probably laugh it off. But my point is, this is getting out of hand because of the way this young man behaves. I want you to see him, how he thinks it's cute at the skating rink to sexually offend, to sexually harass. It's not sexual assault, excuse me. It's sexual harassment. Watch this. Look what that's a heterosexual young man. See? Look what he does. He thinks it's funny. And this is why they begin. Yeah, I do not advocate, do not harm this. This is a very disturbed young man, and I feel sad for him. But you see how that young man who's heterosexual walked away and the other one's laughing because he does it regularly at the skating rink. And he only does it to young, heterosexual, attractive men. And one time he does it, you're going to see a heterosexual man is sitting with his girlfriend and he comes up and does that little slit. Yes. I mean, it's sad. It's like he does that little split move and he says that song. Let's keep looking at other times he does it. Watch. Bitch. See the young man trying to get away from him? Bitch. We fucking away. This is harassment. It's not funny. It's not funny though. This is not funny because why are you harassing these young men? Why are you coming up with that song playing and doing the splits by these young men? Why? Why does he feel like he's comfortable to, oh, they'll get over it? No, they won't. You don't get over it when I tell you don't have a vagina. He would be so mad at me. He would probably vogue me to the ends of the earth and drag me. Well, it's true, you don't. But why are you harassing these young men? Why? Why do they do this? Because they have a resentment toward women, biological women, and they know that these young men only deal with real kitty cat. They don't deal with male booty. And if they do deal with women with booty, it'll be women. They don't vibe with men. And that bothers them. They're not happy enough to be with a nice, handsome, homosexual male. There's so many homosexual males out there, but they focus on the heterosexual male. And they harass them because their mission in their minds is to, I know, right, Caleb? Their mission in their mind is to turn these men out. Now, are these men the only ones doing this? No, we talked about the transsexual women, right? But guess what, brothers and sisters? And I mean brothers and sisters across the board. Be one, but I'm talking about all races, all different people. Guess what, brothers and sisters? There are women who want to turn men out as well. There are. It's like a weird resentment that they have toward these heterosexual men who want to be men. You understand what I'm saying? It goes deeper with the homosexual male because then you have, I'm stepping away from the women who want to turn these men out. But when I say turn out, I mean like boss them around. You're my B, telling men basically you're my woman. I'm dominating you. That's the women I'm talking about because they resent heterosexual men for loving heterosexual women. They resent a man to be his natural self sexually. I'm talking about sex mostly, okay? So we have this man harassing these heterosexual men. Let's look at a little bit more so you can be as appalled and irritated as I am. I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch. No, you're not, baby. No, this baby boy is confused. But let me show you where he's going to each one of them. Here, I think it's here. I'm trying to think about. Oh no, I'm sorry about that. Here it is. Okay, so he does that one. Look how he does it to everybody. See those guys getting away? See, he said he knows these guys don't like it, and he's doing it in front of them. And look what he says in the caption: risked my life at Cascade, splitting in front of tens. She's talking, I guess he's saying straight. That tens means straight. Why are you, he admits that he's doing this. What? Look. See that? Together for 5. She love through the dash like I think Casper don't time with these bitches. I'm time. She sick of me. She called the itis. Purple like trapping this. On my house. We can lay up and look at the stars. She not fucking. She got at the bar. See how he's doing this? Watch this. That's a man with his girlfriend. I want to see the reaction from you guys. What do you think about this? Like, how is this cute? How is this? Ha, you go, girl. No, it's harassment. It's sexual harassment. It's hatred. We real men don't want to see. I know that. I said I wasn't going to try to show it so much, but please, I'm done. And but for the brothers, listen, I get it. But let me say this: for the brothers who you see are being assaulted, and well, not assaulted, being offended and harassed, it doesn't make them not men. But think of these brothers that are there that he is harassing. And then he makes himself okay, I got it. We're done looking at it, but I wanted you to see what he's doing. I'll stop sharing it. Okay, but do you see him harassing these heterosexual young men? Why? And then he says, risking my life. He's a high-level narcissist, making it like he's the victim. It's like, you're sexually harassing men, and then you go out and say, oh, I'm risking my life because these brute beasts are going to attack me and take my life because I'm doing this. You get what I'm saying? So I'm sorry. I tried to warn y'all that it was a little bit older content, mature content, I should say. But listen, we need to make it clear to every homosexual man out there who is in that young man's mindset. You can love who you want. You can sleep with who you want, but you're not going to get a pass to harass heterosexual men because you think you're a protected group and you can get away with that. Just like you can't go, like heterosexual men can't go around harassing women. Okay. And vice versa. But really, men don't get a break when it comes to sexual harassment because there's so much objectification of women that it's very rare to see, I take that back. It's not rare. It's very rare that people acknowledge that heterosexual men are being sexually harassed. Because what do you usually hear? You hear from heterosexual men, oh, that didn't bother me. Oh, yay. Oh, somebody was with him when he was 10 years old, his 25-year-old school teacher. I wish I was him. Y'all have to stop doing that. The males. You have to stop doing that. You have to be like, yeah, that's sexual harassment. Because see, right there, that no heterosexual man wants that. Even you males saying, oh my God, I want to see this. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be offensive. I get it. But there's a purpose because we need to point it out that this stuff about how, they say, oh, I've got a Virginia. Oh, no, you don't. You're very talented. You're very attractive young man. I'm talking to the guy in the video who's harassing people, but you're not a woman. You're a homosexual young man. And there are a lot of homosexual men who would love to be with you. Stop focusing on heterosexual men. Stop competing with women. Stop competing with women. You'll never be women. You will be effeminate, which is attractive to a lot of men that are homosexual. A lot of men are attracted to effeminate homosexual men, but you'll never be a woman. Just be happy to be a homosexual man. Dance how you want, do what you want, but don't let those songs get to your head because that's not a highway to heaven. That's the Hershey Highway. Okay? And just being real. And if you can do what you want to do, heterosexual, homosexual, but stop appropriating the female. You're not female. This is going to be a controversial stream. Well, hopefully it'll get people listening and talking. That's all I really wanted to say. I'm not going to stay long. I'll drop the link. Oh, hey, Sonetta.
Hey, Nepal, can I play my promo video?
Sure.
So people can come and check it out. Go to Sonetta's Patreon. In case y'all don't know, let me drop the link for those of y'all who may not know about the Patreon link. Do you have the link, Nepal?
I gotta go get it. I can. Does anybody Revelation?
Nah, you ain't got to.
You got it?
No, you ain't got to. It's all right. They'll find it. I'll drop the link. But for those of y'all, all my videos are up there, even the new ones. Let me turn my TV down. You can hear the TV?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got the game getting ready to come on. Let me turn this joint down for y'all.
So you agree with me though, right, about this topic?
I agree with what? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
These men need to stop. These homosexual men need to stop trying to push themselves on straight men.
Homosexual men need to stop being homosexual.
Okay, don't do that over here, please.
Well, don't ask me no question, baby.
Okay.
Don't ask me no questions.
I know that's right. Let me stop you right now, because you he's Sonetta, yes, but you know what you agree with me. Like, all we want is for people to do what they want, but stop trying to force yourself or turn people out. Stop trying to turn people out. Okay. So I'm trying to find the Patreon link.
Don't worry about it.
You have it?
Popular among people, as you very well know.
Oh, my bad. Damn.
Is that Pastor Manning? I can't hear you at all. You're muted. Oh, look.
Let me turn my joint on.
Caleb put it in there. Thank you, Caleb. Okay, so Caleb put this. This is going to be something that you have on Patreon, right, Sonetta?
Yeah, I did this today.
I know. Thank you for tuning in, y'all. It has a lot of old and new. Yes.
This is a powerful interview I did today. It was about me putting Pastor Manny on the hot seat. He is also running for president, for the mayor. Yeah, he's running for mayor in New York City. And so I had to interview him. You're going to be surprised at what y'all hear. Let's get it. This is going to be on Patreon to see the full video.
Very popular among people, as you very well know. Right. Mainly because I don't lie and I don't play the games that people play.
There you go.
But I'm good.
Yes, I'm ready for this.
Now, Pastor Manny.
I can't hear you. We couldn't hear you, honey.
I was watching I was saying, Pastor Manny, keep it real. He is transparent, and even when you get him on hard questions, he'll keep it a buck with you. I was watching some old clips so I can get some of these questions for you, and I found out that you was also in prison. Can you talk to us about what landed you into prison?
So I started burglarizing homes. I don't mean this to be racist, but I committed I would never burglarize anybody black, even if they were rich. I would not do that. So mainly I burglarized white people's home. Ultimately, what got me in prison, I burglarized F.W. Woolworth's son's home. I don't know if you remember the dime store, the Woolworth dime store. I knew they were at the funeral. I went into his house and I took down $250,000 worth of jewels. I took him to a small-time Italian mobster to fence them. He promised to give me $50,000. He gave me $30,000, told me he'd give me the other 20 later. Later came and went. He didn't give me the 20. I took my sawed-off shotgun and went to ask him for my money. I just happened to have a gun with me when I asked him. He punked up, called the police. I got arrested for armed robbery. In Florida, the long of it, I was sentenced to 10 years because I took both of the cases to trial. I lost both trials. And I was sentenced to 10 years. That's how I got involved. And that's why I went to prison. And that's the background behind it.
Are you in favor of the moves Trump making so far?
No, and hell no. Hell no. The LGBT community, the reason why they fight so tenaciously for recognition is that they realize that they are anti-universal principles. They are anti the understanding of the Word of God. They're anti anyone speaking. They're anti giving people freedom of speech, freedom of religion. They know what they're doing, and they're doing it because what they are universally, their lifestyle is universally unacceptable. But what's worse than that, it isn't about their intellectual strengths that they are defending, that the LGBTQ is known for. It isn't about their athletic skills that the LGBTQ known about. It isn't even about their race. It's about where they hold sex. It's about their bedroom activity. And that's all it's about. I mean, to raise sexual practices to a utopia of standards for life is outrageous. I mean, what you do sexually, you want me to respect what you do sexually? You got this idea of doing it that way, and you want me to stand in my pulpit where God let me stand?
Wait, that right there. Please let me get the bomb. I'm gonna start. I gotta do it. Woo, Lord, I gotta get it. God, I gotta do it.
But watch the next question, though. Watch the next question. Watch the next question.
I don't care what you do in your bedroom.
Right. Watch the next question.
Their athletic skills that the LGBTQ known about. It isn't even about their race. It's about where they hold sex. It's about their bedroom activity. And that's all it's about. I mean, to raise sexual practices to a utopia of standards for life is outrageous. I mean, what you do sexually, you want me to respect what you do sexually? You got this idea of doing it that way, and you want me to stand in my pulpit where God let me stand and respect what you do in the bedroom? Hell, I don't think the Lord will respect what I do in the bedroom. I ain't gonna tell him about that.
But during the past interview,
wait! I gotta get another bomb. I gotta get another bomb. Okay, my bad. Go ahead, King. Go ahead, play it.
Man, where's that?
Damn. Thank
known
you.
for. It isn't about their athletic to a utopia of doing it that way, and you want me to stand in my pulpit where God let me stand and respect what you do in the bedroom? Hell, I don't think the Lord will respect what I do in the bedroom. I ain't gonna tell him about that.
But during a past interview, you mentioned that you had considered being a homosexual. Do you get called out as a hypocrite when you speak against homosexuals and transgenders?
Well, yeah, when I was in prison, I did consider it. I mean, I did. I was a young man, and it was a long, hard run. But I didn't submit to it. Right. I did consider it. I've considered a whole lot of things that are wrong. Yeah. I've considered killing some people. I haven't done it, but I thought about it. And that's what it was with homosexuality.
Do you think those were just evil demons on you, evil spirits?
No, I think it was just flesh, you know, I mean, what you're in prison for several years without having sex, you know, you might consider some other way of doing it. And that's what happened to me. It wasn't, I don't think it was demons, no.
Okay.
Wait, let me say this. Can I say something?
Man.
Oh my gosh. I love his honesty, and I love that he said.
That's why I said he's transparent.
I love how he didn't, when you said, was it, he, as a Christian pastor, I love that he said, no, it wasn't demons. He was in there for 10 years as a young man, and he was considering affection. Sex isn't just about getting those body parts satisfied. The physical contact and the relationship, because I remember I saw him on an interview saying more in detail that there was this one particular inmate that everybody wanted to be with, kind of like the guy we just saw on the roller skates.
Yeah, that's what they do at. Yep.
And then everybody wanted him, but then he ended up marrying some other guy, and everybody was like, damn, so that's who we chose. Okay. So I love that he was honest with that. Like, I'm so tired of men being like, I never would think that. Don't mess with my booty.
Well,
You know,
I'll say this. If I had 100 goddamn years, I'm not
we got to
doing nothing with no man. I'd rather jerk and jack. And
baby.
Jerk and jack.
You don't have to say that on the channel, though.
I would do anything like that. All the thought, no thought, none of that.
Nasty.
That's crazy.
That sounds more, to me, that sounds more.
I respect that someone's honesty, because he didn't quiver, he didn't shake, he didn't try to get around it, he didn't run. Because when I got there, I said, Pastor Manning, I said, I'm gonna ask you some questions. If it's anything off the table, all you gotta do is say, let me see your hand and say, pass that, and I will edit it out. He said, man, no. You don't edit nothing. I'm here for anything. I said, okay. So yeah. So the full video is on my Patreon.
Yeah.
And y'all can check it out over there. That's for those people who pay to see those videos.
Wow. And listen, if you're in New York, if you're a native New Yorker, consider supporting him as a candidate, but a mayoral candidate.
Well, he's not going to win, because I asked him about CNN. I asked him about CNN, New York One. I asked him about all these big platforms. He said, man, they don't want to mess with him. They don't want no smoke with him because he's too real. He's too real for them,
Damn. What does Jabari say about him? Is he going to vote for him?
Jabari don't like him, man. Thank you for bringing up Jabari. I got Jabari tonight, y'all. I got Jabari at 10 o'clock tonight. We're doing a late night show. And the topic is dealing with, let me see, because I already set it up.
Donald Trump.
The topic is Professor Jabari, Trump, and the attack on the Black community. That's what the title is for Jabari. So that's coming up tonight at 10 o'clock, and we're a few minutes away from it. So our brother, Professor Jabari, is just closing up his class right now, and we're getting ready to go in.
Yeah, thank you, Caleb. Please go check out, if you are in the New York area, you live there and you can vote. Check him out. Look, cast your vote for him. I wanted to hear what he had to say about Black leadership and about how he says black or white ideology. How he said a lot of Black people think they're white.
Yeah, he did agree with it. At first, he said no because he didn't understand it. But then when I asked him again, he started telling his story, and I said, well, that's what I was talking about. He called them pin noses or something like that. Pin nose is the word that he gave them. The pin nose Negro. Something like that.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that whole interview. So
yeah. Pass
it over to me so I can edit it for you and I can watch it.
Yeah, no doubt. I got you.
I love you for this. Thank you. So thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna have to put like a 18 or over on here, and YouTube is so annoying. I mean, I know I'm saying that because, like, why can't we just talk freely about things? Stop censoring. Nobody is being bashed on my channel. We don't bash people for their sexuality. I look at groups. I scrutinize women. I scrutinize men. I scrutinize Christians at times. I scrutinize Hebrew Israelites at times. I scrutinize the Bible, and I will scrutinize certain types of men in the LGBTQ community who are, I'd say, appropriating feminine, appropriating feminine characteristics
Nepal.
with resentment. Huh?
Do you feel that the LGBT community have more rights than we do?
I think they are I know they're a protected group. So they do have it's not more rights. Their rights are protected more than the average person. Their rights are definitely protected more than ours.
Yeah. Yes. I agree.
And I think there was a time, now when I say I think, my opinion is around, let's say, because the way people were freely bashing without any recourse or any type of consequence. When I say bashing, I mean verbally and abusive, like prejudice. People would in like the 80s, 90s, before Obama, people got away with doing things against homosexuals. I'm not going to sit here and say they didn't. They had a lot of things going against them, but now we've overshot as far as like trying to protect, and this often happens with all the protection. Now it's just like they're misappropriating a lot of how do you say, rights and justice. It's not being handled correctly. Like, for instance, what I just showed you about this young man, I didn't bash homosexuals. I'm talking about a certain toxic group of males who harass heterosexual men. But because they have so much protection, they could easily come to my channel and flag and say, abusing vulnerable protected groups. And then an AI robot would look through it and go, oh, yep. And then it'd be done,
Because they've been programmed. The lawyers, the damn judges, damn near all of them are now, turned over to that side. A lot of them.
Right. But then you know what the thing is too? We got people where on the other side, like when this young man is like, I'm risking my life doing this, he's doing a disservice to the community, because why are you making fun of the fact that many homosexual males who are minding their business, they put on their little shorts and tie up their little blouse and they go out and don't bother anybody, and they get brutalized. Like, why are you, now that you know you're protected, why would you disrespect those who came before you and lost their lives and fought for the rights for you? That's what I'm upset about. Like, the younger generation, let's be real. I'm not trying to sound like, one of those people, but like, they don't respect who came before them. There's a lot of good homosexual people who have been, the story, I forgot her name. I got to get it. It's a famous story. That young woman who was, she was not a trans man. She wasn't a trans man, but she was a lesbian who wanted to be with women, but she had to pretend to be a boy in order to be able to date women. You get what I'm saying? So she had a lesbian girlfriend. And I'm going to look the story up. This was in the 90s. She had a lesbian girlfriend. They did a movie about it. It was called Boys Don't Cry. And oh my God, the original true story is horrible and sad. If you see the documentary, and then the movie is so sad. So anyway, there was this homosexual girl who was in a small town. And because they would just like, there was no way you could be homosexual and come out, she pretended to be a boy so she could have her girlfriend. She lived with the girl. And the girl knew she was a girl, but they were trying to make it like she was going around pretending to be a boy, and no girls knew that she was a girl, which it's a lie. The women that she was sleeping with knew she was a girl, but they didn't want to tell anybody because they kept her secret. But finally, the woman that she lived with, or some girl, ended up telling these guys, and they kidnapped her. These were her best friends, guys she hung out with in the community. They knew her as a friend, but as a guy. They kidnapped her, and please, if this is disturbing, don't listen to this part. But they kidnapped her and they SSAY'd her, both of them, and then they BEAT her to unalive. Okay, so what am I saying? Right there, that's
unalive.
Yeah, that wasn't something that was uncommon, right? So there had to be something, a movement. That's why people like you and me who are heterosexual, but we know people in our lives who are not, who are homosexual, we would obviously say,
I have a sister.
yeah, we would say, no, I want to protect them, right? I don't want that happening to the people I love. So once we said, okay, sounds good, and Obama was like, yeah, we got this. They can have all these rights. We can add this to the Constitution. But now they have started to exploit everybody, and you better not say anything about me because you experienced it with your channel, so we have to walk on eggshells with the LGBTQ community, but we have to also walk on eggshells with the small hat community.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Senator, you said the lawyers. It goes like, who's representing you? Do we have good legal do we really have good legal representation? I know we have brothers who are trying, like Malik Zulu Shabazz, and who's that other lawyer that's always popping up? That one black lawyer, he's always helping people. Who is he?
Who are you talking about?
Y'all know who he is. Yes, that's right. Odinson. See, Wednesday, Odinson knows, son of man. Yes, it was a sad story. I got to get the name of her. What's that black lawyer that always is suing people?
I don't know.
Let me get this and then you can close out. I just want to get the name of this girl, do it justice.
All right, family, tomorrow, 3:00 sharp is going down. I got Captain Tazariak. He will be representing Yahweh and letting the world know that it is only one God. And Allah is a fake God that's not real. He's saying that there's only one God. Allah and Yahweh are two different gods. One is real, one is fake. I say, check it out, make your own decision. And because it's the only supposed to be one God. But when you look at all of these religions, from Judaism, Christianity, Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, from the Israelites, the Hebrews, and then you even got the Old Testament that follow the Torah. Their God is different because they don't believe in Yahushua, Jesus Christ. See? So there's a lot of different gods. Who's to say what God is the correct? And I tell you right now that none of them are. None of them are, because they were all created by man. Simple as that, man. They were all created by man. Now, Nepal always say that God is not in the book, but I don't know how, God is not in the book, And I always say that. I always say God is not in the book. There is no God in the book. He don't put himself in a book.
Right.
I'm agnostic. So I'm not an atheist. I am not an atheist. People may think I am because of the way I talk, but I do believe that there is something higher than myself. I just don't put a label on it because I think that could be blasphemy. When you labeling something that thing that's higher than yourself is looking like, what the hell? That's not what I am. That's not who I am. I'm higher than that. You limited me now. You limited me.
Oh. Or maybe that thing could be like when you have a little kid who says, "Daddy, look, I drew a picture of you," and it's just a stick figure, and say, "Oh, look at my baby thinks this is what I look." Maybe it's doing that like instead. But real quick, I just want to show you her name, or they're saying his name. From what I saw in the documentary, maybe it wasn't represented back then so openly, but I read and saw that it was a lesbian, but they're saying transgender male. So respectfully, from this is Wikipedia. From the story, it was a little bit more complex than Brandon Tina simply just being a transgender male, because Brandon Tina never got to live as a transgender male. So you would actually have to transition to be transgender. But in the defense of this article, okay, I don't mind saying transgender, but Brandon Tina would go around saying that Brandon Tina was intersex, like male and female plumbing, organs. I don't know how much of that was true, but this is the woman, or she's biologically born a woman, and then she lived her life as a boy, though. I don't know what I was saying. She did live her life as a boy. My bad. She did so-called transition, but she lived her life as a boy around people who didn't know she was a girl, so she could date women. It wasn't so much as what this article is saying. It says right here, it says, Tina's family described him as being a tomboy since early childhood. Being a tomboy isn't trans, though. There are women who, remember I said there are men who are just naturally, or they've just grown up as acting effeminate. There are girls who are just tomboys. It doesn't necessarily say they are a certain, they have a certain preference sexually or what they identify as. So it says Tina began identifying as male during adolescence and dating female students during this period. Right here, this can be, remember this is Wikipedia. From what I saw in the documentary, there was never, how can I say it? Let me shut up because I don't want to be disrespectful. So basically it was Brandon Tina, go do your research. I just wanted to show that. I wanted to show that because out of respect, that was someone who was brutalized. The Alabama isn't made if, oh wait, what does that say? Oh, that's not Alabama. What does that say? The AL isn't made of flesh. The Most High just is. Know yourself and study nature like ancient Egypt, America, Africa, and you'll find and know God and know the Creator. All right, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty sad, that story about her, but thank you for that comment. I know you're responding to what Sonia said. Go do your research on Brandon Tina. I guess she was, or he was, a transgender male, but not to be confusing. This was back in the time. Let me see what date that was. That was back in the 90s. She underwent a psychiatric evaluation, which concluded that she had, so she did have sexual identity crisis. All right, my bad. So she was Tina transitioned to Brandon. So as a transgender male, Brandon Tina was later taken to Lancaster County Crisis Center to ensure that he was not suicidal. He was released from the center 3 days later and began attending therapy. So let me see where, actually, I'm going to read to the part where, oh God, here it is. During a Christmas Eve party, these are her friends, Nissen and Lauder grabbed Tina and forced Tina to remove Tina's pants. Oh my God, this is so bad. This is exactly what happened in the details, because they confessed, proving to Tisdale that Tina had obviously a vulva. Tisdale looked only when forced to and said nothing. Lauder and Nissen later assaulted Tina and forced Tina into a car. They drove to an area by a meatpacking plant. This is very disturbing, so I'm sorry that if this disturbs you. This is sad, though. Richardson County, where they assaulted and GANG raped Tina. My God. Oh, God. Then they returned to Nissen's home, where Tina was ordered to take a shower. Tina escaped. They tortured this young person. Tina escaped from Nissen's bathroom and climbed out the window. Oh my God, this makes me feel like crying. I don't want to cry. Oh my God, this is so sad. Oh, she tried to get away. Tina escaped Nissen's bathroom by climbing out the window and going to Tisdale's house. Tina was convinced by Tisdale to file a police report. Though Nissen and Lauder, so Tisdale is the girlfriend. though Nissen and Lauder, those are the men, had warned Tina to keep her mouth shut or they'd permanently shut it for her, unquote. Tina also went to the emergency room where a standard grape kit was assembled, but later they lost it. Do you guys really think they lost it or that they deliberately got rid of it? You see, this is why these people of this group are a protected class, and they should be, but don't exploit it. Don't be going around messing with heterosexual men doing the splits and then saying they're going to kill, they're going to KILL me. All right, peace and love. Whew, that was a very disturbing. Let me finish up. You guys go on to the HOK and see Jabari, but I just want to get you. You're probably wondering how did she end up getting unalived, or he? So it said, keep your mouth shut. Tina went to the emergency room. She seemed especially okay. Reportedly, he seemed especially interested in Tina's. The sheriff was so worried about Tina being transgender, was rude to her. I remember that, refused to answer. So basically, Nissen and Lauder were taken to the police for questioning. Despite ample evidence, they neglected to arrest and charge Nissen and Lauder. Y'all see that? That's why we have to put extra protection on the class of the group of people. And Locks told them both a grape had been reported. But anyway, they asked what kind of person was she. Once the cops asked these guys what kind of person was she. The first few times we arrested her, she was putting herself off as a guy. This is the cops. Tina's mother later filed a wrongful death suit where the Nebraska Supreme Court found Locke's inaction resulted in Tina's demise. Yeah. If they would have kept those guys, she'd be alive today, or he would. Around 1 a.m. on December 31st, 1993, this is New Year's Eve, family. Nissen and Lauder drove to Lambert's house and broke in. They found Lambert in a bed and demanded to know where Tina was. Lambert refused to tell them. Nissen searched and found Tina hiding under a blanket at the foot of the bed. So Lambert is a girlfriend. The men asked Lambert if there was anyone else in the house, and she replied that Philip Devine, who at the time was dating Tisdale's sister, was staying with her. The duo then shot Tina in the stomach. My God. This is what happened. I forgot that she got away, and they didn't unalive her at first. Nissen testified in court that he had noticed that Tina was twitching and asked Lauder for a knife, with which Nissen stabbed Tina in the chest to ensure that Tina was DEAD. Nissen later testified that he shot Lambert in the stomach as well. After leaving the room to find Devine and then returning with him, Nissen shot Lambert a second time. The two men then took Devine into the living room, sat him on the couch, and shot him twice. Nissen then returned to the bedroom where he shot Lambert a few more times. The two men then left, threw their weapons and gloves onto a frozen river, and returned to Falls City. They were arrested that afternoon, after which Nissen told deputies that he had witnessed John Lauder. Nissen told John Lauder shoot 3 people to DEATH in Humboldt. Police went to the river where they retrieved the gloves and weapons, include the knife. Damn. Oh my God. This is why they're a protected class, transsexuals. Okay? Because of shit like that. And they should be, but don't play with it. Please don't play with it. Think of the people who have lost their lives, who came before you, and, just everybody take care. Our people, Black people, need to be a protected class, but that's a whole different live stream. Peace to the darkest minds of the light. Let's head over to the HOK and see what Jabari's talking about. This is going to be interesting because we have Trump. What is going on? Did y'all see what happened with Zelensky? Like, I don't like our vice president. I do not like Vance. He's a sycophant bootlicker, telling Zelensky, why aren't you thankful? Why aren't you appreciate the president? He said thank you many times. And I feel sad for the people of Ukraine who are being terrorized by Putin. I do, because Putin, the guy kept on saying, they don't care about treaties. He doesn't care about peace treaties. He will break the deal. We need troops set up. Why won't they just, why is Trump having a problem doing that, but they can do that for people in Israel, in Gaza? Why can they do that over there in Israel, and set up troops and military protection? But when Zelensky kept saying, I really want it, come on, we can't just do this security treaty thing. We need forces who can guard the border and stop Russians from coming in and just decimating our people. And JD Vance just went off. You're not respecting the king, our royal savior, Donald Trump. You didn't kiss the ring. And he's like, what? And then Donald Trump, Vance made Donald Trump turn up. It was just so ugly. But anyway, we'll go over there and see what Jabari has to say about it. Mwah. Peace and love to the darkest minds of the light. Thank you for tuning in. All right, we'll see you soon.